We're back.
Oh no,
We're back
my
and
service is
we're
lagging.
We're at our
Let's go.
our finish line for this
Yeah, this is it.
This is it.
We might get a couple in over the summer.
Yeah, who
Yeah,
knows?
you know, here and there.
Right now, you want me to look at our all-time listeners?
Yeah.
Sure.
This is our last day of the year, though. So
Last school day of the year. Yeah.
This is big.
yeah,
Last one with the good setup.
yeah,
Yeah,
It's a rip
until
on
September.
Eli.
Really.
I mean,
Mr. New Orleans.
yeah, no Eli.
709 plays all time.
Wow.
That's pretty good. How many videos?
It's not terrible.
How many
Like-
videos?
We've had 47 episodes.
So, do the math, Liam.
1.68.
Okay.
1.68 listeners per episode.
Was
I don't-
709 divided by 47?
Yeah.
Oh wait, how did I do that wrong?
It's
Yeah,
probably 16.
47, 15, 15.08.
15?
That's
Yeah.
15 views on a
Yeah.
YouTube video, or I don't know. That's pretty good. I mean,
And
considering we're like a really small.
And this doesn't count YouTube. So we're getting about. I've been looking at our viewership on YouTube. We're getting about 10 listens per video on YouTube as well. That's kind of our average. So you can add that into our 700. That's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
We playing some trivia, Crack?
We are.
Do we have a special
You guys
guest?
want to talk about the Warriors game first, real quick?
Well,
Yeah,
let's play trivia crack. I already started the game
bring
for
in the guest
Just a quick
first. See what he has to
recap.
say.
Warriors kind of smacked
Okay.
them in the face.
We got
Warriors in 5.
trivia crack. Okay, we got art.
Here, one second.
Okay.
We're doing.
Doing art.
What
trivia.
crooner is this? I didn't
Frank
look at the
Sinatra.
picture. Frank Sinatra?
It's definitely not Frank Sinatra.
It's not,
definitely
that's
not.
not Frank Sinatra.
What are the options?
Tony Bennett, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Len Goodman. I'm going Tony Bennett. It was
Here,
Dean Martin.
Liam, you should join the call.
Don't
on
know
your,
who this
join
is.
your.
Introducing Nolan Murphy and Ben Pinkel.
Pleasure.
Seniors.
Are you a senior
Last
too?
day.
Yeah.
Really?
Go ahead.
What is that? What
For
award
what
is that?
sport?
What award is that?
Track.
Really?
Oh, is
It's,
that like?
it's
is
what
that-
Rylan got. It's what Rylan
Yeah.
got.
Rylan got it?
For lacrosse, yeah. Rylan Hickman.
Oh, yeah.
Big round.
Okay. Is it Hot Take Central right now?
This is
Hot
hot.
Take Central.
Are we live?
We are
We're
live.
live.
Okay.
All right. Hot
If,
takes.
if you're speaking, just make sure the mic's pointing at you.
We're
Otherwise, we
doing,
won't get
we're
it.
doing some trivia right now.
Pinkel, if you
My
have
hot
something
take?
to say,
Trivia right now.
just go like.
Alright. My hot take today: Trey Lance is going to be the best quarterback from that class. Opinion.
Whoa.
Trying to think about who else.
Mac
Who else?
Jones,
Yeah,
Trey
yeah.
Lance,
Mac Jones.
Justin Fields,
Zach
Trevor
Wilson.
Lawrence, Zach Wilson.
Yeah. I feel like going into that class, it looked like it was going to be so good.
Honestly.
I don't know if I would say it's
Mac
underwhelming
Jones
so
has been
far.
playing very well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Mac Jones is overrated.
I can agree with that.
so?
I agree.
I can agree with that. I think people hyped him up as some quarterback that's like insane, but like realistically, he's just doing what he's asked well.
He's a system player.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like he's a good comp for him is Alex Smith.
I was about to say that. I was about to
That's a
say
good
that.
comp for him.
yeah,
Because he's,
he's
not
just
very
a
move, but he's mobile enough. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Yep,
but
uh-huh.
you know, I feel like misconception with Mac Jones is people think he won't get any better because he's limited athletically. But I mean, Tom Brady also limited athletically. They're not anywhere in the same caliber, but you can improve as a player without having a big arm.
Yeah.
I agree.
But
yeah.
I just don't think he'll be the best quarterback in that class.
I don't think. Yeah,
So why Trey Lance?
Situation. I think he has the best
Yeah.
coordinator. He has a team built around him, like ready to go now. Like if you look at the Jets, they're not ready to go. Yeah, they've
Yeah.
acquired pieces, but Salah's not proven. Then you have Justin Fields. That's just not.
I've been saying
yeah.
Justin Fields is not.
I don't
as
think
good as
Justin-
people think.
He
for
has the
ages.
talent,
good.
but he's just in the wrong situation.
I don't
Yeah.
even think he
Yeah.
has the talent.
well,
Trevor
you've been
Lawrence-
you've been saying that
So
he's
let me
a
ask you
bust.
this: Who are you taking on the 49ers, Justin Fields or Trey Lance? Like with that situation built around him, like who do you think will?
I
play
think
better?
Trey Lance
Trey
is a
Lance.
better fit for the offensive system.
I agree.
He has the tools. Like Justin
more
Fields.
athletic, too.
Justin Fields. He's more of a like wait for routes to kind of develop down the field. Trey Lance is more of a timing quarterback. So I think he fits better in that system. Plus, you don't even know what system the Bears are going to use because there's so much turnover with coaching. Like who knows if this coach is going to be gone in 2 years?
That's very well said. I think also, Trey Lance is more well-rounded than Fields in general,
I agree.
Like Fields, yeah, sure, he might have the speed edge, But you don't want that for your quarterback. You don't want a pocket running back, basically. You want a guy who can actually make plays, throw the ball a good amount of yardage, and then also just improvise, too. Like, we've seen Trey Lance is a great improviser. And I think, yeah, he's definitely the future of this team.
So you're saying right now Mac Jones had a higher floor, but Trey Lance has a higher ceiling, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Mac Jones
Yeah.
came out of the middle of nowhere and seems competent, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Trey Lance had a year on the bench. So you're saying Trey Lance, now that he's had a year to mature, he'll be back at it?
I have a question for you guys. Is it better to throw a quarterback in, like a rookie quarterback in, or let him sit on the bench?
I think throw him in because I think now,
I think too.
now that you have let him sit, you're kind of you kind of doubt him. Like, actually, I mean, I don't know, but I think now that you've let him sit, people are like, don't know if he's going to be good or not.
Should he have played last year?
I think he should. I think they should have played him more.
Oh, they
Yeah,
definitely
I think
should've.
like to build off of that, like I would definitely lean more towards like sitting a quarterback the rookie year, but it kind of like to an extent, like you mentioned, like definitely should have put in Trey Lance like more often to throw him into like situations so he could get more comfortable. So I think like sitting them is a good option, especially when you have kind of a base quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo who can still find ways to win games sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, to an extent, like
I think that Niners team, even though they made a deep run, I feel like that they were not a Super Bowl winning team in like at all. So I think wasting a year of Lance's development to try to make a run when you know that you're not going to be able to, like now they've just set themselves a year back.
Yeah.
Lance is essentially a rookie. So
I think they weren't decisive enough when they picked Lance. Like, I had heard reports when Lance was in camp that he was beating out Jimmy Garoppolo, and then they just shut him down and let Jimmy Garoppolo play. And then they were doing that thing where they're kind of experimenting with him, like having him play some drives, and then Jimmy
Or, like,
Garoppolo
goal
play.
line.
And that
Yeah,
just didn't work. So they weren't decisive enough and say, like, they either say, we're going with Trey Lance, Jimmy's out of it, or we're going with Jimmy and Trey's going to sit. They didn't say either of that until, like, halfway through the season.
yeah.
So, one, you wasted a year of his development. Two, you wasted a year of his contract, the rookie contract, where you
Yeah.
don't have to pay him as much. Those are my opinions.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It was just a waste of an opportunity. It felt like they traded up for that pick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think if Lance is a bust, John Lynch is gone?
I don't think I think people overestimate how much power John Lynch has. I feel like a lot of it is Kyle Shanahan, and then the not the GM, but another guy in the front office, Adam Peters. John Lynch is kind of like a talking stick. He's just there to, talk to the media and just do PR, right? I feel like he's not making as many big decisions. Like Kyle Shanahan is the one in control. So, but I think if it goes poorly and the Niners don't win like more than half the games every season, I feel like they'll both be gone, not just one of them.
I feel like Shanahan is a good. I mean, he's a great coach. It almost feels like he outcoaches himself sometimes.
He's stubborn.
Yeah, like there were games in like say 2019 when they were like really good. I remember they played the Saints and they won that.
Yeah.
But they almost like lost it because Shanahan became way too passive, and he kind of always does that. Like they'll get a big lead and then he'll just stop.
I think the Saints game, I don't know if we're talking about the same game, but the Saints game was, in my opinion, his best coach game when he was.
Maybe it wasn't the Saints. It was
because he put up, like, in the Saints game, he put up, like, 42 points.
Yeah, so it was a different game. It was a game that they almost lost because the Niners just stopped, like, being aggressive.
There's games like that where you'll just be like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
Like, why would he call that? And then there's other games where, like, this is the best coach in the NFL. Like, I'm trying to think. Like the start of the season, they were just off. Like, it seems like there was no kind of, like, organization to what he was doing. But he got it going eventually.
Well,
Yeah.
like in the Super Bowl, you saw him call it just take a knee, and instead of calling a timeout and running an extra drive against the Chiefs.
I think that's more of a product of him not trusting Jimmy Garoppolo. Because Jimmy Garoppolo made that throw, but then they called the pass interference on George Kittle. But like, you're really
that was
you
big.
saw the difference between like when Trey Lance is in and there's like 2 minutes to go. You know this guy's gonna like throw the ball down the field, and with Jimmy Garoppolo, you're just like, is this guy going to fumble? Is he going to throw a pick? And is it going to be 3 points the other way? So, yeah, he's a little scared, but, I mean, I get it if it's Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I agree. Right.
If we want to switch gears, we have a Suns fan in the room.
Oh, man.
What happened? How do you even explain that?
I think it was a case of Game 7, all the pressure's on the line, and Chris Paul once again folds under pressure. You can say, for as good as he is, you can say all these great things about him, but he's never had results.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and like same with all these guys on the team, they're not accustomed to success. You can see like in the finals last year, they put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, you could tell Giannis was just too much for them. They didn't know how to contain him. They weren't competitive. They kind of lost it, I feel like, because they're unsure of who they are as a team. They don't have like that veteran who like knows how to win, has won.
Yeah.
I mean, they have JaVale McGee, but nobody's going to listen to him.
What do you think of DeAndre Ayton going at it with the coach and then not playing the second half?
I think that's a poor move for Ayton, honestly. You have to respect your coach, especially a coach like Monty Williams. That guy is such a good coach. He loves his players so much, you can tell, and he's super passionate about the game. And if you're going to go get super verbal with him, that's just something you don't want to do, And especially, I think they both kind of overreacted on that part where if you're going to bench a player for kind of getting amped up at you, especially in a high-stress situation like this, you kind of have to understand where he's coming from. He's young. This is his second year basically making the playoffs, I guess. And he just doesn't know really what's going on. He's expected to be a leader in this team, and he doesn't really know how to do that.
I think you can also kind of, like, as if you're a coach, I would, instead of, like, shutting that energy down, I would kind of feed off of it and maybe put him in the game and tell the whole team, like, hey, we need to rally around this guy, even though he's a little bit frustrated.
Yeah.
Like, we got to use his energy and kind of make it a lot more positive.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen how good Ayton is, how dynamic he can be in the playoffs, too. I feel like that Mavericks team they got in the Suns' heads, like, especially just Luka. You could see him smiling after every shot he made, just kind of trash talking it, or not trash talking, but getting in everybody's heads. You could tell everybody's a little frustrated too. I guess segueing, what do you guys think? Do you think the Warriors are championship contenders this year? Because they've certainly looked it in the past two series they've played, and especially, I guess, Game 2 tonight, they've already have 1-0, and at home, and they're probably, what seed are they, 2 or 3?
3, right?
But they're the highest seed remaining in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they'll have home court no matter what.
Wait, well, are the Celtics 2 or 3?
I think they're also 3.
No, I think the Celtics are 2.
The Celtics are 2,
Celtics
Bucks are
might
3.
Bucks are 3, yeah.
Okay, like, how many games do you think this series is going to go and, like, who's going to win?
I think 5 max.
I think 5.
Mavs in 5?
No, max. 5 max.
5 max.
I think Warriors in 5.
I think
I'm
Warriors
gonna
win the
go
first 2 at home.
6.
They lose the first one in Dallas, and then they win Game 4 and then win Game 5.
Yeah, I think especially the way Curry's played in these playoffs, just chucking everything from deep and just hitting the bottom of the net again and again and again. Especially you have Jordan Poole now, who's such a good rookie. Or is he a rookie or?
No, he's like third.
Second,
I think he's a sophomore, right?
Third, but like this is his only second year really playing.
Yeah.
So you have a dynamic player like him, who's an insane shooter, and is kind of, I don't know if he's necessarily clutch, but he's definitely got like that scoring potential off the either off the bench or even starting, I think.
Yeah, I was just watching the game, and they're like, the commentators, I can't remember who was on the game, were just like, the Warriors are cutting into the basket like it's nobody's business. They're like by far the best slashing team, and the way they're on defense, they were isolating Luka and making him work on offense and defense. There was a lot of traps on Luka, and then they were forcing the ball to whoever Luka was defending so that he doesn't get a break.
Yeah.
That's one thing that they were talking about. The Mavs were giving Steph a break, so he would just stand in the corner on defense. That's not how you punish a team's star, which I think is something that needs to be assessed for the Mavs game plan. Do they play tomorrow? Or do they put it
Friday.
Tonight. No.
Friday night, I think.
Tonight is Celtics.
Celtics.
Yeah.
So tomorrow.
I think the Mavs match up a lot worse with the Warriors than the Grizzlies did. I think the Grizzlies were too big for the Warriors, and they were too quick around the rim. I feel like the Mavs are kind of like, it's Luka, and then it's really no one else. Yeah, there's Dinwiddie. Yeah, there's a couple other guys, but it's mostly Luka ISO. And if Luka's not hitting, the Mavs are pretty much done. And he wasn't hitting last night. Like, against the Suns, when Luka's step back is on, there's nothing really you can do.
Exactly.
But I don't think he can just in a 7-game series against the Warriors. I don't think he can outscore Curry, Clay, and Jordan Poole.
Okay.
He can't match it.
I also think like you mentioned, when his step back is on, it's hard to stop. I think the Warriors are a team that can respond to that because they are also like a heavily like shooting based team. So if they get going and Luka gets going, it's like the Warriors are going to win no matter what.
And the Warriors defense, I was surprised. Like first they didn't turn the ball over last night, which is rare, and then their defense was a lot better than it has been since the rest of the playoffs. Like they were clamping.
Yeah.
They were clamping.
I think that's really going to be the deciding factor because I don't know, like the Warriors defense has like you said has been so like off and on in the playoffs, and so they have the potential to lock down Luka in a way that another team can't really.
Yeah.
But I don't think you see that poor of a shooting night from Luka again.
Yeah,
I think he'll drop like 40 something.
That's what I'm saying. I think they'll win both in Dallas.
Really?
Yeah. Or 3 and 4, and then
I like Wiggins against Luka though. I feel like Luka's going to get 40 if the step back's on, but Wiggins can prevent him from getting like 50.
yeah.
So yesterday, the Mavs had a 36 field goal percentage.
Yeah,
36%, where the
Yeah.
Warriors had 56.1, which is very high compared to the 40s that we were talking about when they played the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Have you looked at the heat graph for that too?
I
Like
have
where
not.
they're shooting from?
No, it was mostly 2-pointers though, right? It was just like short buckets.
I think for the Mavs, it probably was, but with the Warriors, you never know because they have those I guess everybody on their team can basically shoot to an extent,
Yeah.
and that's the one reason why I think they're going to take this series is they're so much better offensively than the Mavs are, because like Ben was saying, you got guys like Dinwiddie, like Brunson, but Brunson is that dude's a slasher. He's going to get in the paint and try to get his buckets, and whereas Curry's just he can shoot from anywhere, spot up, on the move, 15 feet behind the line. And you look at a guy like Clay who's always on the elbow or somewhere like that and can knock down any shot. What's that heat graph look like?
Well, they're 1 of 8 from the left corner 3. And if you're taking a corner 3, it usually means it's pretty open.
Yeah.
Or you have space.
So was it mostly twos that they shot?
I think so.
So I mean,
36,
40, 48.
No, they took a lot.
It took a lot of threes.
They took a lot of threes.
Which is why I think their shooting percentage was so low.
yeah.
But they were also just they just weren't hitting. There are games where they're just not on, and anything can happen in the NBA, but this was particularly terrible.
That's why I think they, like Nolan said, I think they kind of need to go back to the Jalen Brunson slashing, because then if everyone's kind of going to the rim like the Warriors were last night, if the Mavs do that, I think the Mavs they can't be better than the Warriors at that, but they can be close to that. And then that will open up spots for Luka.
Because they need to take a break off him, or give him a break. Basically.
Yeah.
I think if you push the Warriors inside, that's where the Warriors are most weak because they don't have any size beyond Looney.
Exactly.
They're really small.
Although Looney did play really well last night.
But how long can Looney, yeah, he's generally been healthy this year. He hasn't missed a game, but how long can Looney be out there? He can't be out there all 48. There's got to be I think the Mavs should pick their spots when to go at the rim when he's not in. But also the Warriors are pretty long. They're not massive, but Draymond is going to contest shots. Wiggins is going to contest shots. So
Yeah, that's why a guy lacking Gary Payton is pretty huge.
Yeah.
Because he just makes himself big like Draymond does.
Yeah.
So you kind of need those guys. If the Warriors didn't have Draymond, they'd be
No.
I don't even think they would make it past. I don't know if they would make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I was talking yesterday, and it was Steph Curry and Clay were pretty on and off last night until Steph found it later. But it was you couldn't even tell because they'd shoot it, hit the back, or hit the rim, it would rim out, and then Draymond's got the ball. Oh, Looney's got the ball. And it's they got so many second chance shots that it was almost a joke.
Yeah.
And they're just laughing around how did I get that ball? It's like that thing Jimmy Butler had, where he's I just out hustled the whole defense.
Yeah, it looked like the Warriors just kind of had a little bit more energy last night.
I think it was momentum.
Maybe both, kind of. I mean, coming off a Game 7,
Yeah. That's
and then because they didn't go home either,
yeah.
so they had to go straight to San Francisco. I think that's probably pretty brutal.
They were flat.
Yeah,
Would you
that's what Shaq said. I think in the post game, he was like, "Yeah, Game 7, that's rough." And then,
What do you guys think about the Celtics game?
I didn't watch
Celtics
it.
Heat game? You didn't watch
No.
it?
I don't watch that one.
I didn't either, actually.
Nope.
I watched some of it. I think Celtics will be able to win that series, but I think it could definitely go to 7.
Yeah, I think Celtics in 7. I'd say
Yeah.
it's a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way. I mean, I think, speaking of like the Draymond and Peyton point, I think what we've seen throughout these playoffs is the only team that's going to win is the team that has like the harder working players. Like, you have to have that tenacity, and that's what the Suns didn't have, you know? And you could see that. And I think if the Mavericks don't keep up, and they don't match the energy that the Warriors bring every night,
Yeah.
which you know they're going to do because they have Draymond. As much as I hate him, you have to at least you can't deny that dude is passionate,
Yeah.
and he will not necessarily put up the most points, put up the most blocks, put up the most rebounds, anything like that. But he's like a Dennis Rodman basically. He's like
His presence.
yeah, he has a presence there. He energizes the team when they're down, you know. And then I think that's the reason why they've seen so much success in these playoffs.
Yeah. Well, and they haven't lost a game at home.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
too.
the Mavs need to win in
They have
Dallas. Or, I mean, obviously they need to win a game at Oracle or whatever.
They have
Chase.
to.
I
Yeah,
think,
they have to win.
I think they really need a game at Oracle, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think
That's almost impossible.
games in Dallas are way bigger.
Yeah.
Chase?
Like, because if they go down 3-0, there's
There's no chance.
no chance. They need to win Game 3.
Yeah, did you
I
guys see?
think winning game 2 is almost
So-
into consideration is almost a must win because think about having that road win for them would be huge because then if
Yeah.
they go back to Dallas and win both, then they're
Dallas.
up 3-1, and then they
And
can seal
4.
it in 6 if they don't win game 5.
I don't think that.
But I think that's real and that's really unrealistic.
I mean, I don't know a lot about basketball, but I don't think that if Game 3 is in Dallas, I don't think Game 2 is at all a must win because I think you can go down 2 and then go into Dallas and win 2 and
The problem is,
so I don't find what's
There's so much momentum though with that.
yeah I
won,
do see that.
you're at 2 up. You have a comfortable cushion, and you have to go, or you don't have to go in and win that game. It's not a must win for the Warriors if they're up 2-0. So now they have a little bit of a breathing room to play around with, and if they win that third game, they're going to win Game 4. There's no way they're going to crush them basically.
It's 3-0.
Yeah, if it's 3-0, they win Game 4.
Yeah.
But I still think Game 3 is definitely a must win if they go down 2-0 or 0-2.
Yeah.
But I don't think Game 2 is a must win.
I'm kind of with Owen. I think Game 2 is kind of a must win because
I don't think so. I think
if you go down 0-2, even if you take 2 back, you still have to then win 2
On the road.
On the road.
Yeah,
Well,
you
no
need
matter-
to
I think-
win. You need to win
Yeah.
big road
I don't
games in
think-
order to win a championship. And I think the Warriors, to be honest, are a better road team in this series compared to the Mavericks because I think they're just playing better, and Dallas is just an easier place to play.
The Warriors
for a
up 1
road
right now.
team
Yeah.
than-
Both teams are just elite at home.
I think that. I mean, and unless we see someone go unless the Warriors win 4-0, then someone is gonna have to, I guess, go against the momentum of the series and win a game when they're down. Or I mean, I guess not. But they will. They'll have to go against the momentum. So I think winning against 2-0 wouldn't be that crazy. So I think they just have to there has to be a game where they.
Well, if
Where
it's,
they
if
do
it's
something
2-0
they're not
and then it
supposed
goes
to
2-2, the team that was down 2-0 has all the momentum, and there's a lot of pressure on the team
Yeah,
that was up 2-0.
Exactly, I agree.
Yeah.
There was that one game where we saw the Warriors just completely relax against the Grizzlies, right?
Yeah,
and
that was
Game
terrible.
6.
yeah, and that was when the Warriors had the lead, right? They were up 3.
Wait, no, I think it was Game 5.
3-1.
It was 3-1. Okay, yeah, and so if I'm the Mavericks and we're down 2 or 0-2, I'm not sure if I'm as intimidated now, knowing that the Warriors kind of take their foot off the gas.
It's also in that scenario, you almost have nothing to lose. Whereas, like you mentioned, all the pressure goes on the Warriors now if they lose a game, even if they lose another game.
Yeah.
So,
I think the Warriors, like out of most of the teams, despite being like super, like having experience, are like the team that loses the focus easiest. Like they have so many turnovers. They have like that game 5 against the Grizzlies, where they just like lose focus and stop caring. But I think that now that they have Steve Kerr back, that won't happen as much, and I think they're kind of locked in. So if the Warriors go up 2-0, I don't really see the Mavs coming back.
Yeah.
I like it.
Does anyone have any sort of hot take or just topic that they
Hot
want
take,
to
Nolan?
address?
Oh, Chris Paul, not a top 5 point guard all time.
I agree. Honestly, I don't think Chris Paul's top 5 all time.
Okay, run me through your list.
Of point guards?
Yeah,
Magic Johnson.
not it doesn't have to be in order. Just
Steph Curry,
Okay.
Magic Johnson.
okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Those are for sure locks.
Those are
Yeah.
2. I feel like you got to put up. Let's see. I'd almost put. No, I want to put Gary Payton up there. I don't think. I put him high though. I'm
Gary
actually.
Payton.
Let me search up a list. Greatest point guards.
What about AI?
AI, you see, he's more of a combo guard. I wouldn't call him a point. I mean, if you call him a point guard, then yeah, he's top 5. He's definitely better than Chris Paul.
What's he?
Steve Nash. Hey, Nash.
Steve
Oh,
Nash,
Nash.
I think, even though he doesn't have the success, that dude was a problem.
What
Like,
about Jason Kidd?
No,
No. You
I would
think
say
Chris Paul's
I would
better
say
than Jason
Stockton
Kidd?
maybe. I would say Stockton maybe.
I don't.
I think Chris Paul's better than Jason Kidd.
I don't think so.
I think so.
Yeah,
Why not?
I watched Jason Kidd at Cal, so I'm a little biased, but
Yeah.
not
I'm
like
still a
watched
Jared
him, but
Goff fan.
highlights.
Cal bias fan.
Yeah,
Jason Kidd is like
he was good.
he was pretty dang.
Are we
Good.
counting Oscar Robertson?
Oh yeah, no. If we had to put the Big O up there,
The big O?
we could put let's see, we could put Isaiah Thomas. Honestly, I think
You think I did, Thomas?
I think so. He's what two championships. I don't know about MVPs, but that dude was really really good for the Pistons. Like
Yeah.
he was the foundation of that team. Without him, they don't win all those games. They don't win those championships, you know. And sure, they had like a supporting cast of like Lambier and Rodman and Mahorn down low, but like if you look at it, Thomas was the guy who was putting the ball in the basket. You know, you can be as physical as you want, but you can't win if you don't score points.
You gotta go to football.
Football.
I'll take football right here.
Cardinals will not be good for a long time.
I mean, I agree.
That's probably not a hot.
I agree.
It's not a hot thing. Here, I'll-
There's just no way with their roster that they're not good.
And
Like there's no way.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh yeah, Cliff, he's an idiot.
So bad.
But I still think because their roster, like just their roster alone
Are
is.
they dealing Chandler Jones too?
They did.
Raiders, right?
Yeah.
I think. Oh yeah.
I think
But no matter what, I think they have to. They're still a good
we said
team.
We said that last year. Like that roster was really good. But
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury's like in all his years coaching, college and NFL, he just doesn't win games. I don't think he's had one win season.
He got better last year. Last year was better than before.
Okay, but as a Lions fan, you cannot lose that bad to the Lions.
No, yeah, he's not.
Like,
Yeah, there's just games where they're just like not playing to their talent level.
No, yeah, they need to. He needs to be gone. He should have been gone a while ago.
yeah.
My question is, how is that GM still there?
I don't know the
He's
fact.
done a good job,
yeah.
but he's been there for so long.
The fact that Cliff Kingsbury's still there, and there's been an issue with Kyler Murray. Like Kyler Murray is literally like that team right now. Like I think without him, they're just not.
Yeah.
Especially having Klings.
Well, you're only as good as your quarterback.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's not even that good.
yeah.
To be honest.
And their coach is so bad that like without having a good quarterback, then that would just be horrible.
The
So I think
problem is he's a little toddler, and D-Hop made him look so good.
Oh, D-Hop suspended.
I know exactly.
oh he is for
Yeah.
for PEDs.
Yeah.
I did hear about that. For how long? How many games? The whole-
games, maybe.
He might be. It's
usually either
it's,
full season or
it's between
8
quarter and half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But D-Hop is another reason that team was so good, you know? He just made Kyler... You can throw up anything to him, he'll come down with it.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys where he just makes his quarterback look that much better, like he did with Deshaun Watson in Texas.
Who else was in the top 5 for the point guard list?
Who
So we have
is
Allen Iverson.
You could put Steph, Magic,
Yep.
Steve Nash, Allen Iverson.
Yep.
Big O?
The big O.
If Kyler asked for 300 for 10,
For 10 years?
yeah, would you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's on
Because quarterback talent isn't just churned out like that. You don't just find guys like with that much talent. So
Yeah.
you just gotta throw money at it and hope it works out. If it doesn't, so what? Like you're not gonna find that type of guy in the draft.
And I mean, Kirk Cousins makes like 38 mil a year right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people have talked about like quarterback market and wide receiver. Like I think everything is just getting more expensive in the NFL. Like
Yeah,
every
well,
position.
Well, I have another hot take. Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback of all time.
I
Yeah, I agree.
Is that a hot take?
No,
I
I don't
think,
thi-
no,
I mean, it's-
That is a hot take because I think there's a lot of people that you could argue kind of fill in that role.
Who?
Well, I would say
Who do you think?
like him being more talented makes him the greatest quarterback of all time.
That's what I say.
That's what I think.
I think it's dumb that greatest of all time means most accolades or
Because
most
that's just
accomplishments. It's your team.
your situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Aaron Rodgers just gets consistently like screwed over in the playoffs, and it's just like it's not of his own doing. Like he carries teams pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean that Niners game, like that was part of that was his fault.
yeah,
You can't score 10 points
yeah.
and not blame
But
part of that on your
he
quarterback.
doesn't get the.
But also
No, no.
LaFleur totally blew that.
yeah,
With the Packers, you can't score 10 points.
and look how Tom Brady's surrounded every time.
know.
Belichick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
For sure. I also think.
Oh,
Go ahead. Finish
No,
your
go.
thought. Okay. I was gonna say I think Aaron Rodgers is like it's never happening that he's like actually doing anything wrong and losing. Like very rarely
Yeah.
that he's doing stuff wrong and like losing them games.
Like Tom Brady will do stuff wrong, and still like win
Yeah.
games. Like when the Packers played the Bucks NFC Championship game like 2 years ago,
Yeah, I remember that.
If Rodgers was on the Bucks, that's a clean sweep. If they switch positions, or like it's over. Like
That was a field goal game, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
And he didn't even want to take three. Like,
Rodgers.
What was it?
Yeah. Oh, it was fourth down. He wanted to.
Rodgers. Yeah, they wanted to go for it. Yeah.
and Aaron Rodgers, like the way the Packers draft has been so terrible. It's
No,
just
yeah. Like, how are you gonna? I drafting a quarterback is still just one of the stupidest things ever.
That
Like
and then-
Rodgers is not old, not becoming washed, not underperform. Like, there's no reason.
Rodgers,
No
like,
reason they should.
they drafted a fullback in the third round when they have a fullback, and then they drafted a backup running back. Okay, fine. AJ Dillon is fine, but if you're gonna draft AJ Dillon, why are you paying Aaron Jones?
Exactly.
Yeah, they should be. They should. If they're gonna draft AJ Dillon, they should have dealt Aaron Jones, gotten
Yeah.
a wide receiver, and then had like a running back room.
I think
Not
the Christian Watson pick was a good pick, but who was their first pick in the draft this year? I forgot
This
who
year?
it was. But I remember I was like, what are they doing?
now that I
Was it a lineman?
I think it was a D line. Who was it?
now that I think about it, I think them trading Aaron Jones would be that could be a really good move. I think.
I think they just shouldn't have paid him because
Yeah.
no one wants to trade for
I
a
don't think-
running
yeah,
back that's
yeah,
getting
that's right.
paying that much because
How much did
another
they pay
hot
him?
take is running backs are pretty replaceable.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've been holding on to this hot take for like I've said this so many times. I think Christian McCaffrey and Saquon are both busts because of how much they've been paid and because of how inconsistent they've been and gotten
Well,
injured.
the general rule, I think all like GMs should know this. Is just don't
Do-
draft running backs high.
Exactly. Do not draft a running back in the first round.
Like, why? Yeah, they're the most talent. Like, Christian McCaffrey should have just honestly switched positions. He should have been like a
Yeah.
slot or something. Because they're like taking like way too many hits to even
Yeah.
make it to a second contract.
Yeah. And every time I bring up that take, Eli just disagrees with me. But I think it's
He's not here.
Well, I don't
He can't defend
think-
himself.
Where is he?
I don't think you can call McCaffrey a bust. I think that's
Just did.
super over.
I think you can't say he's a bust, but you can say he's not what they expected him to be. Like they wanted him to be their entire franchise.
No,
Or-
I think he's
but-
better than what they expected.
They expected
He's-
him to play 2 years. He
But
gets
when,
injured.
yeah, and they should know when you're drafting a quarter. Like, if they expected him to be their entire franchise, then they should know that he's gonna be injury prone because he's like a 5'10" tiny guy. Like it's just the way it is, and he's playing
that's
running
kind of the
back.
way they managed him too.
Yeah, they've given him way too many touches.
He's
he
he's
would-
Like
if
60
you look-
touches a game or something stupid.
And they're just pounding him too. Like
Yeah.
they send him down down the middle, and then they send him out in routes because he cooks everybody when he's out. Like
Otherwise he'd be a slot.
yeah, he's
if
totally.
he was a slot, I think he would have been just as good, if not better.
He
than
should
is.
just
Yeah.
do the kind of Tyreek Hill, Debo kind of role.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
This brings up
I
a
think
question.
I
though.
think he needs to be in a different offense. I think
Yeah.
Matt Rule is it?
Matt Rule shouldn't be there.
No.
But this is a question: should Debo Samuel be getting fewer touches to stay healthy? Like, should these wide receivers that are on their second contract not be in that kind of role where they're getting hit every single play
I
just
think-
for longevity?
I think that depends on what the Niners want. Like I think if the Niners, I don't know, like if they want to preserve him for a long time and have him as a franchise player, then yeah, you probably give him less touches. But if you're, I don't know, I think if you want him to be a guy that's winning, I don't know. If you want him to win you games, then no, I don't think
It's
you
if
can
you're in
preserve
win
him.
now mode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying. You ease him into
Yeah.
it. Like McCaffrey, the Panthers are in win now mode the whole season, basically. So they're just giving him the ball every
Yeah.
single play.
Even though the rest of the team is.
Yeah, so I think he just running backs. I think the Niners are a good example of this. They're pretty replaceable.
Yeah, they
there's
are.
probably one or two running backs in the league that you can't replace. Other than that, the level of play isn't that different where you spend money or spend high draft picks.
Who are those two running backs?
That's a
Probably
tough question.
Taylor and Henry.
No,
I think Henry.
No,
Taylor's replaceable.
Henry for
You think
sure.
I think-
Taylor's
I
replaceable?
think
Yes, I think
Taylor
Taylor
is.
is replaceable.
Oh,
Derrick Henry's not replaceable because he's
one of a
just
kind. He's
I
one
say
of the
Derrick
generation
Henry,
players.
and I don't know who the second guy would be.
I would agree with Taylor.
Taylor is totally replaceable.
I think. Well, okay. I'm leaving McCaffrey in the conversation. I don't think he's one of a kind as well. I
Yeah, but
don't.
health matters.
you can't if you're just looking at talent, then yeah, he's probably unreplaceable. But yeah, you have to take into account the fact that he's getting injured so much, and the team knows
If
that.
you-
It's
if
not like
you
they don't
include
understand that.
McCaffrey, you have to include Saquon because
Yeah.
they're both talented, but they're
I
just
don't-
both injury prone.
I don't think Saquon's like
I don't
that.
think he's as good as
Yeah.
McCaffrey.
I think
Can't
he's
put him on
I think
the
he's
same
just as talented.
Yeah, I think he's just
Really?
talented. He's not as good.
Yeah.
But if you look at it though, McCaffrey has that receiving ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Saquon has
But
has none of it.
Saquon,
That no, that's
Like,
not
you're-
Saquon. Anytime Saquon gets the ball, it's like
Yeah, he can bust through.
it's like a guaranteed 6 yards. He's
Ru-
just so good.
running back production is
disagree.
based on the line,
Yeah.
the offensive line, and
Yeah.
Saquon,
Saquon-
the play calling.
yeah.
They're
That's
just
why
running
Emerson's
him
so
up the
good.
middle with the worst line in the league, and
Exactly.
he's 3 yards.
The play calling sucked and the offensive line sucked, but he was breaking more tackles than any other running back, on every single play. And it was so. I don't know. It's just bad play calling, bad offensive line.
if you were the GM of a team, what are the positions you'd go after with your high draft pick? If you had the top 5 pick,
Definitely
Probably,
O
like-
line.
yeah.
I think O
yeah,
line is such
depends
a
what position-
underrated. Well,
yeah.
it's becoming much
No,
more
not
popular.
corner.
I
think-
think this is just a positional value question. What positions do you value the most?
O line,
O line, middle
obviously
linebackers,
quarterback, and then
middle linebackers. I think.
no,
No,
I would say
I think
defensive
so.
end.
Middle linebackers are replaceable. You can drop safeties
No.
in there if needed. That's
I
not
don't think.
bad.
I think middle. I do that too, dude. I think middle linebackers are that's an important part of a defense. Yeah, middle linebackers, defense.
I say number 1 is quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Number 2, probably left tackle.
Why left?
Yeah,
Well, if your
Blind-
quarterback's
blind side.
right-handed, that's the
Yeah.
blind side.
I guess.
The blind side's very important because you got
Yeah, to build confidence.
you've got guys like Aaron Donald screaming off the edge. I don't know
Yeah.
what side Aaron Donald normally comes off.
Everywhere.
Yeah, he comes.
yeah.
He, can go
He
up
plays
the middle.
every. Yeah,
He can go left or right. You can do whatever you want. If your left tackle's weak, he's going to be screaming at you every single possession or every single play.
I say it goes.
Aaron Donald's mainly a tackle now.
Yeah.
though. He used to be
That's
defensive
I
end.
say it goes tackle, guard, or tackle center then guards are the most
You think
important.
center over
Because-
guard?
Yeah, because-
Center kind of commands the
Make
line
the
too.
checks. Plus, you got to be able to snap the
Double
ball
team
and
ability.
block.
You don't think you can teach
you can't
That
just
kind
move
of-
a guard to play center, but you can
Yeah.
move the guards from either side. Like center's like a position that takes a little bit more skill than guard. It's like the same position as a guard.
It also takes more IQ, I think.
But you have to be like more cerebral.
You have to be able
Yeah.
to read, like, what's going on.
I thought you were just gonna leave it at that.
You also
Gotta be able
You
to
have to
read.
be able to read.
The running backs failed that.
Yeah, exactly. I also feel like when you have a guard, it's really easy for like you can just get added to a double team whenever. You just need that brute strength, kind of. Whereas
Yeah.
with a tackle, you need finesse because you're getting those edge rushers. Like let's say like a Leonard Floyd's coming at you, he kind of tries to swim you. You got to be able to counter that, and even if he's trying to come the other way, you can push him into your guard, and you just have a big block of something, then you're fine.
The tackle build is also more rare. Like it's rare to find like guys who are 6'7" with the size who can move fluidly. But you can find like a 6'3" guy who moves fluidly with the size.
Yeah.
That's why the tackle is like you have to be taller than a guard.
Do we have time to? I have one more question.
I was about to wrap it up, but I mean,
Yeah, one more.
What do you guys think? Like the most valuable position in baseball would be, if you guys know
I'm
baseball.
not a baseball guy.
What do you
I
think?
think a short.
I think
I would-
shortstop's a little too
I would
overrated.
probably
agree.
say catcher.
Yeah.
Catcher.
I would
Yeah.
say
I think teams you can get away with having a subpar catcher.
No, you can't.
I think
no,
you can.
no. You can see teams,
Batting wise or fielding wise?
but I think both.
Batting wise,
Oh.
100%.
If you have a
fielding wise,
No.
fielding wise, no.
Do you
Fielding
see,
wise,
like,
I don't
the
think you can get away
Royals,
with
like
it.
with
Batting wise,
Salvi,
you
Salvi's not the
definitely
greatest defensive player ever, you know. And if anything, his stats are below
No-
average.
no, I think-
defensively, and you can see the Royals don't have a lot of. Well, also they just suck, but
can. What I think about catchers is I think that you can't if he's not good at hitting, he has to be good at playing defense. But if he's not that good at defense and he's really good at hitting, then it makes up for it.
I think to win the World Series, you have to have both.
I think my favorite position in baseball, and I'm a little
Who was the
biased.
Braves catcher last year?
I think
Darnell,
Darno was dirty in the playoffs.
he was nice.
I love a good center fielder or a third baseman, just because of the fact that like those two guys are the leaders.
What
of the
about a
team
right
usually.
fielder?
No.
No, that's just
I
guy.
don't know.
That guy's just a bat with no brain.
Yeah.
don't think that's true.
Aaron Judge, get him on the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Got him on the phone.
Mookie
No.
plays every single position known to
Yeah.
man, and he plays them all well.
Yeah.
Especially like I'd put him at second in Indy.
Shohei.
He did. He played second.
Shohei,
Yeah.
Ohtani.
Okay, this is your last day on campus. Any advice, words of wisdom?
Be kind
Any-
to your family. Be kind to each other.
I agree with what he said.
Let's go Rangers.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor.
Wow.
Think about that.
The man who loves the journey more than he loves the destination will reach the destination first.
Wow. Jared Goff, 2022 MVP. Thank you for listening to Hot Six Central.